Dynastic China is known for its patriarchal society and poor treatment of women. In both the Tang and Song dynasty, this continued to be the case.
The Tang dynasty was formed in 618 and ended around 907. Although a woman's role was slightly different in this dynasty than in the previous, the impact of feudal China was significant and widespread.
This included the three cardinal guides. The ruler guides the subject, the father guides the son, and the husband guides the wife.
Women were required to be obedient to their father before marriage, their husband during marriage, and their sons in widowhood. And four virtues, which are women's fidelity, physical charm, propriety in speech, proficiency in needlework.
Make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here.
Was married, they would leave their families permanently and become more or less the property of their husbands.
The only success women were capable of in the eyes of society was their ability to produce sons. Women who were not able to do this were even less respected. Although women were treated without a doubt as lower class, the women who lived in the Tang dynasty were generally considered the lucky ones when comparing their lifestyle to that of women in other dynasties.
Having a woman emperor goes against Confucian beliefs. However, Empress Wu Zetian was able to manipulate her way to royalty. She was extremely powerful and is known for stopping anyone who stood in her way.
Please pardon this interruption for a quick excerpt.
Song Ruohua and her sister Song Ruozhao were both daughters of the high-ranking Tang official Song Fen. Ruohua wrote a guide for women called the Analects for Women, but her sister, Ruozhao, was the one who propagated it. Ruozhao did not marry, but dedicated her life to the instruction of women. This excerpt from the text shows the expectations of women in Tang society. When walking, don't turn your head. When talking, don't open your mouth wide. When sitting, don't move your knees. When standing, don't rustle your skirts. When happy, don't exult with loud laughter. When angry, don't raise your voice. Don't peer over the outer wall or go beyond the outer courtyard. If you have to go outside, cover your face. If you peep outside, conceal yourself as much as possible. Do not be on familiar terms with men outside the family, and have nothing to do with women of bad character.
During the Song reign, the status of women further declined. Compared to Tang times, women participated even less in politics and were very rarely seen outside of the house. In the Song dynasty, Confucian leaders argued against widows remarrying. Foot binding also began in Song times.
Foot binding was a tradition that continued in China until it was outlawed in the early 20th century. Small feet were considered to be beautiful and desirable. Those who wrapped their feet would try and make them as small as possible, ideally between 2 to 3 inches long.
Now back to the true information.
Girls in the Song dynasty began this practice between the ages of 4 and 7.
Some believed this tradition was a political ploy to keep women confined, immobile, and further constricted to their home.
If you think that's crazy, check this out.
Foot binding may seem like an old practice, but in today's society, celebrities such as Kim Kardashian have started to use waist trainers to create smaller waists, something that is seen as beautiful in modern culture. Although the quality of life for women was worse than before, women contrastly had relatively secure rights to property in the Song times. Older women often held power within their families. In major dynasties, women faced major oppression. Sometimes that had existed in the culture of China before these dynasties and continued on for hundreds of years afterwards.
Run this mother, girl, run the world.